understand the language of
Okay, we think we're live. We hope we're live. I know I'm Brent Leary.
I think I'm Paul Greenberg, and I don't know if I'm live, but I know I'm alive.
And I'm Rebecca Wedeman.
So
Playing it
simply.
smart. Playing it smart.
And we are the CRM Playaz. Hopefully we are live from CloudWorld. We hope you can hear us. If you are out there, I know this is a pop-up.
Thank you.
We're here with Safra Katz talking with the CEO of NVIDIA. What's the name? Jensen something, right?
Jensen Wang, I think.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant man.
It absolutely is.
One of the best. Also one of the most personable speakers I've ever heard in my life.
So if you're actually hearing us, if you're hearing Safra, although, now we're hearing her again. Let us know. If anybody is out there, let us know if you're able to hear us. This is like our third or fourth live event of 2022. They gave us a full-blown
Ballroom.
forum at Caesar's Palace. So we figured we'd do a pop-up during the keynote, see what Safra has to say, and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, so to catch people up, she's just mostly done introductions so far. Like she introduced Jensen Wang? Jensen Wang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA. She's introducing someone from Deutsche Bank and
Gordon McKenzie
from Deutsche Bank. That's all she's really been doing so far. She hasn't made any big statements herself yet. It's been customer and partner introductions.
What a challenging time we've all been through. As executives, we've gotten to see absolutely everything compressed. Gordon, the time we've all been through. As executives, we've gotten to see absolutely everything compressed. Gordon, how you're handling.
She's repeating herself.
No, she's richer and richer engagement. Demand for technology increases all the time. Demand for technology increases all the time. If you think of what we've just data to drive richer and richer engagement with customers, that obviously drives demand for compute, demand for processing. If you think of what we've just come out of, right, we've had COVID.
Okay, now we're getting some serious technical difficulties going.
I think it will happen during COVID. Much less cash transactions.
And we're hearing it, but we don't know if you are.
Well, and then it looks like everywhere we look, it's frozen.
So
unfortunately,
except for
markets.
That one really frozen.
And that's the hardwired one.
Our risk management is getting more and more sophisticated, which again.
Okay.
Wow. Well, that may be short-lived.
We thought we had something going, but maybe we don't. Although this one is working fine now.
So here's what we have. Now they went dead, and we're still live.
Let me refresh and see what could not download the video.
Oh, they're queuing it. They're caching it.
Let's try this again.
Okay, we're going back in.
But a very diverse estate.
There we go.
Now we're back. Let's see if we're back in.
We have to kind of be able to meet that demand.
It's actually some lag here.
Modernizing technology that we have. So that stability for us is key.
Isn't technology wonderful?
Wow. So I don't know how cogent our commentary is going to be because they're not even aligning right. It's a lag.
Most heavily regulated industry in the world. Some of the more.
So this is turning into
going on this one.
A repeat of our Salesforce one.
Let's try
Deliver
this.
this increasing demand. So if you like, we're having to deliver this increasing demand. We're building.
Actually, wasn't that far.
Yeah. No, just a second. All right. Let's take this.
And finally, we've got regulatory regimes across the world that are encouraging in some.
As you can tell, we're being highly professional.
And once again, anybody out there, let us know if you're actually hearing us. We'd love to know that. And if the sound of the broadcast from the keynote stage is too loud or too soft, let us know.
Also addressing very kind of rapidly evolving regulatory.
And the first person who lets us know anything, Paul will give him $1,000.
No, Terry will. Terry Bradshaw will give you $100,000.
No, Patrick.
Patrick,
because
how
it
much
can
can
be
Patrick donate?
Patrick
at
has
your
deep
site,
pockets.
it can be just in your country, or it can be
Thanks, Brent.
global. And this different level, I think, is kind of flexibility that's very, very helpful. I think also, going off of what Jensen was just talking about data.
So what do we think about the
we've all
overall
been
audience
creating
for CloudWorld?
so
Do you think
much
it's like
data over the
50%
past
people
few
who care about
decades,
apps
and
and
it's
50% who
been
care about
probably
infrastructure and
not being
database?
used as
Or like what?
effectively. Sharing
Well, I don't know.
what
I mean,
you're
Oracle
doing to
historically ends to
transform
the
physician
the hardware,
using
software and the
data
hardware,
in this
but software for the
incredibly
hardware, so to
evolving
speak,
market.
meaning more
Look, I
care
think
about
a
database. And
huge amount of the
I
innovation
think
that's happening
it's
in banking
possible,
today is data-driven.
and this is just
I
going
think
from
you
the
could argue
analyst
nearly
mix
all of
really
it
more
is
than anything
somehow
else. It's
data-enabled.
possible
That
there's
is,
more
us
apps
building
than they
kind
have
of
had
contextual
in the
banking
past.
solutions,
Because
which
I
mean that
remember in the early days
services to
of coming to Oracle
retail customers
Open
and
World,
commercial customers and
I
It was
honestly didn't know why I was
stacked.
there.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I had no reason to be there. Right. So, because it was all
I think we
the
have done some very
hardware
exciting things
and
around,
database. This
Right.
one, I
looking
I do get a
into
feeling they're
things
paying more
to
attention to the
enable
apps.
different
What
ways
about
of
Right,
you?
and I understand this isn't the
Again,
app's
though,
keynote,
Right.
about the data
right?
that's
This is the
Doesn't-
general
generated,
keynote, but what we've heard about
in that
so far has
context is
been
enormous.
database,
Bringing
database,
Yeah.
together
Well, but-
database.
and I think it's going to stay there. Honestly, I think.
And I think,
But I will say one thing which is sort of interesting to me, and I don't really know much of the details of the partnership itself, but the partnership with NVIDIA and Oracle really strikes me as super interesting because one, it indicates Oracle is very aware of how people are going to be consuming things in the future and how important a company like NVIDIA becomes in that. And two is, I think Oracle is starting to show a real appreciation of the sort of the B2B. At the end of every B is a C side of all this. So even though I still think they're focused on a B2B audience in this particular case, even with NVIDIA, they're understanding that people tend to be, especially millennials and new generations coming in, tend to be highly visual. And at the same time, NVIDIA provides, enterprise grade technologies that are associated with anything visual at least and somewhat audio, but primarily visual at least. So I think this is a really important recognition by Oracle, and secondly, a really generally important partnership.
We've realized that
I can't wait to talk to the folks over at NVIDIA next week. I'm doing a one-on-one with them around their conversational AI and CX. It's a lot of letters there, but it should be pretty interesting.
CAI, CX.
Cakes. Highly regulated, risk-averse place.
Well, and the question I'd love to get an answer, Brent, when you're talking to them is, where does the AI live? Right? If I think about it from, is it at the application layer? Is it in the middleware layer? Is it closer to the database?
Yeah. The interesting thing with NVIDIA, everybody, rightfully so, thinks about them with gaming and hardcore technology for gaming.
Yep.
But they actually kind of their AI grew out of that, and then they transferred it all these different other use cases. And it's pretty impressive what they're doing outside of gaming with graphical AI and conversational AI. And it's all coming from all that stuff they did with the game.
Yeah, well, again, we can go to constant discussions we've had on the impact that the gaming industry has on all of this stuff. I mean, something I think we're all aware of, and I know I focus on to some degree, aside from the fact I play a lot of it. I focus on that as I used to focus in 2005. I actually spoke on gaming, the gaming world as a not gambling, by the way, even though we're in Las Vegas, but gaming like games, video games, right? I focused on that as a prototypical business model, best business model for the 21st century. It's no longer a prototype; it's a mature model, and we're seeing a combination of adaption, and interpretation of that model, and then getting it applied into B2B and B2C scenarios everywhere. Because it's the best model for engagement I know of in the business world. So this NVIDIA thing really becomes intriguing. NVIDIA's
scale your
geniuses
mission critical
at
systems.
making enterprise-grade
over the past
applications
couple of
for everything
years.
they do.
Yeah, look, as you know, we've done a very large deal with yourselves for Oracle Cloud at Customer. We're actually migrating our entire Oracle estate to
Trying to
Cloud at
think.
Customer, which we think
Did
gives
Larry
us
ever do one of these kind of
there's a
sit down
very
with
significant cost
another
advantage.
CEO
There's a
of
huge
a custom
maintainability
company?
advantage.
I don't
They can
recall him
flex
doing
I don't
that.
recall
gives us
ever
No.
seeing him do one.
being very candid.
I
to
recall
very
him
you
doing
guys can
bits
run
and bytes. That's what I
Oracle
recall of
estate
Larry.
more effectively
Well,
than we can. I think
he
you
gets.
definitely
It,
can.
I
gets
still
fired
say
up.
Really pleased is the way that
to
our teams
be
are working together.
what he's done and what he's accomplished, and at his age to still be excited by that stuff is amazing. Because if I had bought an island, I'd just be chilling on it.
We're already starting.
I wouldn't be coming back to talk about bits and bytes. I give him a lot of credit for that.
It's
That's
taken us
amazing.
forward
I
in
do.
many dimensions.
My only problem with it is
Yeah, I
we've got
think
too
this is
technical.
an unbelievably
I remember once he gives
exciting
this
time.
highly
I
technical,
thank you, Gordon.
gave this highly
I know
technical
when you all
speech.
took,
And it was highly
might have been
technical.
thought of
And
as a
then he
risk
Was
said,
it highly
us,
technical?
and
No.
we felt
What makes you
an
say
How
that?
technical was it?
What did I say that made you say that? Right? But he gives this highly technical speech, and then he says, in his next speech, he's going to get into more detail. And I thought, what's he going to do? Talk about subatomic particles? Like, I had no
Sand.
idea. Like, I had no idea. It was so detailed. But to your point, he is incredibly enthusiastic. And the thing I always keep in mind about Larry
many of
is
you probably don't realize
in
that
the
every
earliest
time you
days
go
of all
by
this,
the
he was
bread
actually
aisle
the
or
visionary,
snack
not
aisle,
Benioff or any of
you
the other
are,
guys.
in
It was
fact,
him with the
buying
network
Yeah,
computer.
the network computer.
I will never
that
forget that
makes
because
the
that
most
was an
luscious
astounding
things
vision
pretty
at the
much
time.
what my children
And everything
grew
he
up
said
on.
literally
And so
happened.
we're going to share a total large global transformation that we've been doing in partnership. And I want to welcome Raul Obregon, Chief Technology Officer and a Chief Transformation Officer and CIO of Grupo Bimbo.
Grupo Bimbo. Is that like a company based out of the States, or I never heard of them before?
No.
Grupo Bimbo.
Great. It's fantastic.
That's got to be
Probably
some like South America or
It
Spanish.
is so
Yeah.
fun.
Well, Obregon
We were
tends to be a
talking
name you
last
hear
time
in
we
Mexico
were
because
together
one of the
was
presidents of
Mexico
Mexico in
City.
the
You could
Mexico
almost
City.
not
was,
get me out of there.
Daniel
All my
Obregon. I think it was
favorite
Daniel
stuff.
Obregon.
And he's promised me
I always
he
wonder if these
visits
guys
the
are related
bakery next time
every
I
time I see
go.
the name.
So
This
that
feels
would
like
be
a
pretty,
real
pretty
talk show
dangerous.
host feel
Yeah.
to it.
But you
It's
know,
unusual, really.
Yeah, it
everyone
is.
Did not
here
expect it.
knows the world.
I expected
But I
her to
like
speak.
it.
No, I
Kinda
love
casual.
it. I actually
There
like
are
it.
more
Very
challenges,
relaxed.
whether it's, listen, what have we been through? Supply chain, now we've got inflation, all of those things. Maybe you could share with us
We've got
some of the
our
things
market
that
strategy
you're
chief doing some research on
to
Grupo
deal
Bimbo
with
now.
just
You.
Let's see.
What are you coming up with?
Operates in 33 countries, annual sales volume of 15 billion.
Holy cow.
Publicly traded on the Mexican Stock Exchange.
Wow. 15 billion? How do you never hear of them? Never heard of them.
Products, bread, cookies, pastries.
Oh, I like them
It's
already.
amazing.
They own Wonder Bread,
What can I say? I guess
No.
Sara Lee.
anyone here on
What?
the
Oh, wow.
has immense challenges.
That's
What have been our challenges?
Who knew?
Well, what can we say?
Nobody doesn't
Energy,
like
commodities,
The Wonder Bread,
labor shortages, talent attrition, and we could go on and on.
bread.
What have we
Right,
done?
but,
I think that we've stayed the
I
course.
used to like Sara Lee cakes when I
why
was a
do I
kid.
say we've stayed the course?
I like them. I
This
just can't eat
December we
them.
will be
No.
77 years old, and I would say that even since from our inception, we've had maybe three constant pillars.
Yeah,
One
nice
is
nice
a
view.
relentless pursuit of growth.
No?
Second is to invest in brands. We're a company of brands. Some of you here in the US might know Thomas's, Entenmann's, Sara Lee. If you're
Entenmann's
further
too?
abroad,
What else?
Bingo.
Thomas's and
I love
Entenmann's?
Entenmann's.
That's what he
So
just
they
said.
bought Sara Lee in 2010.
We've been a company that
The fact they own
invested,
Entenmann's is almost scary to a
more or
Jewish boy
less
from New
more
York.
than 60% of our profits every year back to the
That's
business.
supposed to be owned by
To invest in
Entenmann's?
those Jewish guys in the 1890s.
CapEx,
We
and to
invented
invest in
that bakery.
acquisitions. So that
It's
pursuit
my
of
people's
growth
bakery.
has
What
helped
happened?
us in this
Grupo
times.
Bimbo. I've never heard of
Me
it.
either.
I have fond
Entenmann's,
memories of
Sara Lee.
Entenmann's.
Yeah,
Me
me
too.
too. They were good.
I love their pound cake.
Yeah, exactly. Best pound cakes. They also have a crumb cake. It was really
Oh,
fantastic.
yes. Yes.
Categories, channel,
I like these guys automatically. I want to know him. I want to meet him one-on-one so I can get some free
That's
Wow.
You think he brought some with him for you?
Sir, it's great to meet you. Do you have any pound cake with you?
Can you ask him about his pound cake?
Tell me about your digital transformation and your crumb cake, please.
Bold. Early
Have you
on,
done anything different
decided to do
in the last
this
60
enormous
years?
transformation. And, tell us first.
This
of
format
all,
does suit her.
how
She
you
seems very
decided to
relaxed.
take
Yeah.
that step, and then what's in store for this next year and the year after.
I'll tell you what, anyone who identifies themselves as listening to this broadcast, if you send an email to to Playaz Productions Net at Playaz Productions Network at
Getting more complicated.
gmail.com.
Stop, rewind.
Right, let's try this again.
Ladies and
Anybody,
gentlemen.
right, Glenn, cut this out and post. Anybody who's listening to this broadcast, who sends me, sends an email to Playaz, P-L-A-Y-A-Z, Productions, with plural there, network at gmail.com, I will send at my cost a free copy of my book.
And a crumb cake.
I was going to say,
Enterman's, no, I won't send that.
if you say that, I'm starting to type right now.
I have to find Enterman's crumb cake, but I will send a free copy of the book, Commonwealth of Self-Interest, which is a 400-page book on customer engagement that goes through all kinds of stuff. I will send you a free copy of the book. You just have to send me your address and tell me in that email that you watched.
That is a lot.
Okay, if you didn't understand any of that, tough luck. That saves me postage.
I know you can get Intimates too, because they can get them at home in Delaware. I know I can go
Really?
get some Intimates.
I haven't seen Enterman's since I left New York. They own Giant?
No, you can buy
Oh.
Entenmann's at
God, I
Giant.
thought they own Giant.
And this segment is brought to you by Intimates.
That's right, we're doing a Conan O'Brien take on
So for us,
Enterman's.
all that data and all that visibility will surely push us.
Well, it
to
just
be
goes to
more
show you
efficient.
that there's so
We have,
many huge companies
fresher
out there
products and what we
that you know
come to say
nothing
is
about,
nutritious,
that you do know something about, you just didn't know you didn't know about.
So
And they're
what's for
huge.
2025,
Now, look, for people who are listening in,
finish up,
keep in mind, you're dealing with three CRM CX customer engagement analysts here, listening to things about data, databases and data and ops. So
People have food around the world and that.
the best thing to listen for in these discussions, if you're in our universe, is the outcomes on this.
I mean, how does sustainability factor?
For
into your
example,
growth?
what she's talking about right now and asking.
Remember, Steve Miranda brought that up yesterday in
It's
his
been
talk.
part of our strategy maybe over the last 10 years. We've been pushing hard for sustainability, and I can share, if I may, I'll share a story with the audience. In a small outfit that we have in Mexico.
All right, I got a question for you guys on, this is on sustainability as opposed to other initiatives of, let's say, positive change. Why is sustainability the one that every single big tech company is focused on primarily, even over all the other initiatives? Meaning it's the one they most visibly speak to publicly, even though they're doing other ones. But this is the one that they always put on stage in effect. It's sustainability. SAP does it, Oracle does it, Salesforce even did it last time, right? Why? Why sustainability over all the others? Anybody have a thought on that?
I have a thought, but I don't know if I want to share.
Which is the most sustainable.
No, that's
I think it's kind of,
Two for the
not
price
to
of
say
one
that
on this. So
it's not
incredibly
difficult to
exciting.
do, but
So
I think
want all of you,
who's against
next
it?
time you go do
There are
this
certain
for
people
the
that are
world,
against
you
certain
should have
things,
the joy that
like
I have
diversity and
every
equality.
single time.
Who's
Because
against
I think
sustainability?
about
There's nothing to be
Bimbo,
against.
Grupo
It's a good
Bimbo,
thing. And I think it's a good thing generally for everybody to be focused on. And it could be a potentially revenue, either saving or generating
I
thing.
think that goes.
So when you add all that up, why wouldn't you focus on it?
you? And I hope
Well, I
that
think
you
too,
felt
it's
that
so
in
much the
our
cloud
partnership.
story,
I would
about
say
having
so,
efficient
Saffron,
use.
maybe over
By
the
their
last,
nature, they're doing
24,
sustainability.
30
Yeah.
months, we've
Right?
seen
Yeah, it's because they're doing cloud. Oh yeah, we're already doing this. It's not like an elite.
Enterman.
You get a pound cake.
That's right. Free pound cake for every percentage of net zero you get to net zero carbon. I also look, I mean, it's, I think to everybody's point really, it's also, it is the easiest to make the case for, because it also ties the most obviously to profitability and everything else. And I think it really, where you make cases, you talk to, let's say, diversity and inclusion, or you talk to solving global hunger, or you talk to the healthcare side, unless it's a crisis. But just in the ordinary span of things, it's harder to make the case for profitability directly. Not that there isn't a case, but this one is like cut and dry almost. And in fact, I always found that one of the weaknesses of the case that they were making, not Oracle, actually more SAP, but even SAP fixed this, was that they would focus so much on profitability, they forget the actual benefit to the world it has. Right? So these guys are keeping it in balance, I think.
No, I like the way that they broke up this, because you got to think Larry's keynote is going to be completely different,
Right.
and not only the substance but the tone compared to what she's doing here. And I like this. I kind of like the way that they're doing
Well, she's
this.
more of a host, really, in this one,
Yeah.
Product company
with something to say.
how they've leveraged Oracle end to end to transform themselves to a truly
Interestingly,
digital enterprise.
This one, I don't know if you
and a
guys
digital
might not understand, but
with their
she also
customers.
reminds me a lot of
So
my
with
Aunt
that,
Shirley.
Let me introduce Diane.
Yeah, I didn't know you were in show.
I know. Well, I have to just watch my cousin's plays and you understand, but
Oh,
she is literally like a Jewish aunt to me. I'm not joking. She literally had a moment there where I saw my Aunt Shirley.
Good morning. Oh, so great to see you. This is so fun. I'll tell you,
It's a beautiful stage.
it's
That's the
interesting
nicest
because
of
we have
stages.
a lot
This is a really good
of
format for
manufacturers
software.
out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
She looks very
I
comfortable.
think some of them are going to be hanging on every word you say because they're trying to figure out how do
If
they
you heard that
become digital
screaming noise in the
enterprise.
background, anyone who
Maybe
happens to be
share
listening or watching,
the
that's
transformation
making
journey
espresso
you've taken
beans,
Johnson
grinding
Controls
espresso beans
through
for coffee
over the
making.
past couple of years.
And it's interesting when you talk about a manufacturing enterprise, that's no
So
longer
anyone
how
who's listening, if you will send an email to
identify.
ppn
No, no.
call papa,
Oh, no.
you'll get an espresso with your crumb cake in your book.
That's right.
While supplies
It'll be a
last.
cup of cold espresso, which you'll have to warm up.
Historically,
We'll also send you espresso grounds.
installed.
Oh, you can put that on top of the coffee
Fertilizer,
cake. Well,
fertilizer.
no, it's coffee grounds on a coffee crumb cake.
Really.
Those are crumb cakes with coffee, and they used to make coffee crumb
No
cakes.
thanks.
So
Not
our
with coffee
transformation
grounds.
journey is
No, no.
outside in and
I was just
inside.
making it
So
palatable.
the outside.
You're not doing a good job.
The digital marketplace, the digital solutions that we have been developing. And oh, by the way, our CTO is speaking tomorrow. I think with your chief sustainability.
Oh, that was the first plug.
Little plug there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
she heard you.
But as our customers have the digital experience. Of
Actually, my
having
buddy Rodney
advanced
Clark,
buildings
remember he was from
using
Microsoft? He's at
products,
Johnson Controls now.
I then
Oh.
earn the digital.
They're an amazing
core
company, and it's so
inside
interesting
out
what they do.
So many different things that they
I know.
do.
So
Yeah.
we're a complex company. We grew through acquisition.
They are listening
They're
to us,
hearing every
Brown.
word we're saying.
Business and
Well, she's listening to the mic in her ear. Okay, now talk about.
Yeah. She'll say from the stage, and if you send the CRM Playaz a
Email.
using our standard technologies, reducing tech debt, increasing digital acumen of all of our employees and
This
users.
is the first time we've heard
and
about
then
technical debt
creating
today.
Yep.
an authentic experience for our customers to our employees, from the digital to the marketplace down to digital to the core.
How do you make that even happen? I mean, how do you do an end-to-end?
Look at that picture.
I just thinking the same
What are
thing.
you
That's a cool
thinking about
background.
how do you solve for
Really
that?
did a great job
It
of
is a
staging
true
this thing.
transformation.
So it's not for the faint of heart.
You know what? They must have made sure
Ultimately,
not only, they have the right
because we
companies or
have
whatever, but
our
the right people, because they all feel very
We have
comfortable in
chosen
what they're doing and
The guests
talking
are
about.
good.
platforms.
There's nothing that
Always
feels
cloud
scripted
first.
or anything. It just feels like a
And
natural
We're not
conversation.
the first ones to have done this. So by using proven templates, by putting in the same standardized processes.
I love the
for
crane
accounting,
shots.
Manufacturing, for shipping, for warehousing. Then
That's
it's
cool.
just a matter of the change management and the execution. So it's staying
We need to
true,
buy a crane.
focusing on our solutions. not getting distracted by shiny objects, which was hard not to do when I went through the Grand Canal shops and getting here. Don't get distracted by shiny objects. Stick to your core, focus, execute, deploy. Focus, execute, deploy. We'll eventually get there.
Keep the ordinary
See, I
ordinary.
love transformations. I was originally brought to Oracle to do transformations. However,
When was that? How long ago was that?
I have
I don't know.
incredible
It's gotta be
faith in
20
the
years.
technology, but sometimes the
Okay,
sociology,
market strategies
as you
on.
said, it is
Chief of
not
Intelligence.
for the faint of heart. If you could give advice to many of the executives who are out here who are thinking, should I go now or should I wait till later? What kind of advice can you give them?
Well, Johnson Controls is a 137-year-old company. We should stop counting.
Saffir's
just like I
been
no
at
longer
Oracle
count.
since April of
We
'99.
want to make sure we're
99,
here another
23 years.
23 years. Wow.
If we haven't already started, we're too late, and we will be disrupted by not only the competition we know about, the competition we don't know about. So the journey does take a little while. You haven't
Smart.
started, you're already too late, and now it's in a race to catch up.
So basically, no more white papers. The time to
Yay.
start is now. And here you're seeing an incredible success story. And I very much appreciate your sharing because these periods, again, I think we've learned a lot.
I gotta say that
Moving
their
slowly,
camera work is really
very
good.
dangerous. Used to sound like the safe bet. Moving,
Well, the three of us are on this afternoon, and we'll be at the Oracle
changing the environment.
TV studio at 12:35 p.m.
It's absolutely critical. And
I don't know.
and
I
thank
assumed,
you.
given it's called Oracle
You've
TV, that
also
you can
felt
tune in
our
somewhere.
focus on you and your
I have no
success.
idea where.
You're working with
Somewhere
our
in
teams.
Oracle's
I
feeds.
have.
but
I guess I'd add
Three of us
two
will
more
be on
pieces
talking
of
about
advice
various
to
things
that,
later. We'll
which
see how
is
the
about
TV studio is
working
set.
with people. One,
Yeah, and then
always
tomorrow
tie
we're
it to your business strategy.
doing the show.
So
Yeah,
every
from somewhere.
presentation that I
Yeah, we
do
don't really know
ties to the Johnson
exactly
Controls
where
business
or with
strategy,
who,
which has the digital
but we are doing the
strategy
show.
baked into it.
The show must go on.
Second piece is, don't do it alone.
I
was
just
only
love
a
the
few
crane
weeks
shot.
into
I'm
the
so,
job.
this
I
is
joined 2 years
it's really
ago
good to
during
see
the
this at an
pandemic,
event.
when I started the phone a friend
Look,
and said, this is
Oh,
a
finally.
complex undertaking with the way our business has grown. I need help. So working with
it's a little
my
out of-
executive sponsor,
little
Steve
latency
Miranda, working with my executive
Correct, there's no
sponsors
signal.
at our various partners, I needed strong governance, strong leadership.
Hey, notice
I work that ecosystem
the shot is
every
wider
day.
up for us.
So I'll,
Like, they
I'll
got
leave
it
you
skewed.
with a paraphrase
you know, whispering
of
doesn't
an
mean nobody
African
can hear us.
Oh,
proverb.
that's true.
She who goes alone goes fast. She who goes
Kinda funny.
together goes further.
There you go. Great advice.
she is this.
Fabulous. Thank
She
you
was
for joining
CTO
us
of
here.
Johnson Controls.
Truly phenomenal advice.
Is that her
What a
title?
joy. Thank you
CTO?
so much. Thank you.
Can't
sure.
remember.
If she was, whoever she, whatever her title
You
was,
guys
she was
are taking
right on
notes,
point.
listening to
I mean,
this,
our
'cause
focus was
this
on
is really
take care of the things you
resonating.
got to
It
take
reminds
care of.
me
Don't get
our own
distracted, and
transformation.
keep doing that
Now
over
we're
and
gonna
over
do
so you don't
CIO.
fall behind.
Very
CIO
different. As I
VP,
mentioned,
CIO.
Melissa and Doug
Diane
is
Schwartz.
one of the most
Very important
It's the kind
piece of advice.
toys
Don't get
that
distracted
we
by the
want
shiny
our
stuff.
children
Get the
and grandchildren
foundational
playing
stuff taken
This
care of
is no
first,
screens.
um,
It's the
and
type
keep getting it
of
taken
things
care of
where
because
you
it's going to
really
change.
need
What becomes foundation is
creativity.
going to change
And
over
with
time.
that, I not
Otherwise,
only
as she
have
said,
one,
you'll be
but
too late
two
and you'll have to
executives.
you'll be
Be
fighting to
behind,
catch up.
catching up.
CIO,
Yeah.
Mike McCree, who we've known for a while, and Lee Surkoff. So welcome. Come join me. Let's talk about toys.
Let's talk about toys. Lee
Hey, Lee. Fantastic. Hey, Mike. Always great to see you.
You guys ever heard of
Fantastic.
Melissa
I
and Doug?
promised you toys, right?
Toys.
So
Yeah, I don't know them.
the toys
I know
you
people
make,
named Melissa
Lee,
and named
are
Doug, but I've never heard
really
of
to
company.
inspire creativity, screen free.
Wait, who's the
So
other guy?
someone would think
It ain't
you
Melissa.
don't
It's the
have
CIO.
technology's not important.
It's the CIO and the CFO.
That's not right, is it?
No, and you mentioned this morning as well in your opening intro and just now, our products are screen free, but we do believe in technology. as a company that looks to provide open-ended, real play, imaginative toys, we want our teams focused on the toys, not the back office or the side office. And we've done a great job in terms of transitioning ourselves into a more professionalized back end
It's like a side
operator,
hustle.
so we can focus more
I
on
have
our
no idea.
Interesting.
Side
I'll
office.
tell you, it's
Back
really
office, front office, and
interesting
side
because
office.
ultimately,
Think of it
to
this way:
have a
new
great
analyst
product,
category that we can now
whether it's
get behind
beautiful
and own.
toys,
We can
or
own the space for the
otherwise,
side
really
office.
Side
need
office.
a
Yeah.
very
Front
strong
office analyst, back
innovation
office analyst, and
engine
we're
and
the three side
technology
office analysts.
capabilities to stay competitive in this incredibly competitive market. Please share with me, Mike, how do you have technology to help your whole innovation roadmap to get things done?
Yeah, so when we had to make the decision on whether, our next investment in ERP, we had to look at many elements. But because we were performing in a period of hyper growth, we looked at things like NetSuite. We looked at where we wanted to go, and together we decided that we wanted to leapfrog the competition. And with all the investment that Oracle's made, we felt that the Oracle Cloud Fusion ERP platform was best for where we wanted to be. And, the investments you made really have reduced the risks. And what that allows us to do, allows us to take every dollar that we save in the back office and reinvest it in the children you see on the screen and in the toys that we produce for them, in the most sustainable, efficient way possible. And that's really the core values of our company.
So they're operating from the
So
standpoint of
Oracle helps us
back
do that,
office
helps us focus on our
efficiency.
innovation, which is core.
It's interesting what you're saying. I'm having deja vu from my days when I started at Oracle, because I really wanted to release resources from our back office. I needed to release those resources so we could spend them on innovation, on R&D, and that is ultimately why people pick things.
So most of Doug is privately held, started in 1988.
Having better
Okay, so
products
about
and services,
1,000
why we're still
employees.
here after all these years.
So they're doing
bigger
mid-market?
than ever.
Yeah.
Maybe you could both
So they
share
hit
with
enterprise,
us a little
mid-market?
bit about the
Sounds like
partnership
mid-market.
that we've had.
So they had Johnson
and
Controls,
how it's made a difference
Bimbo,
in business.
Grupo Bimbo, Entenmann's, to you and me.
Well, yeah, Entenmann's is easier for me.
That's right.
And Johnson Controls and these guys.
I
Okay.
think about, we are the number one toy brand.
Seemed like there was another one in there.
Wooden toy brand with
Oh, yeah,
sustainability
NVIDIA.
preschool. And we think about
NVIDIA, and then there was the other one that came after
Deutsche
NVIDIA.
Bank.
Yeah, that
Deutsche
Gordon,
Bank, NVIDIA, Grupo Bimbo,
Johnson Controls,
Johnson Controls,
these guys.
these guys.
business right now. We continue to have a lot of energy in the back
So
office.
they're ticking them off.
Well, the good news is they're keeping them short.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And they're
It's,
getting across some good information.
And Mike,
they've done like
this
5
is not your
already,
first
and
This is the
rodeo.
first really
So
apps
you have
story.
brought
Yeah,
enterprises through
Actually, yeah.
really many
Yeah.
changes just like this, which is why you're perfect.
Yeah, I
at
mean,
this.
NVIDIA
If
was a
you were to
separate story
give
altogether, but
advice
yes, you're right.
to some
the
of
first time we're
the
hearing
thousands
about
and thousands
the
of
use of
people
their
in here,
apps.
what kind of
ERPs.
advice would
Well, again,
you
I
give
think
them when they're just trying to
just generally
decide,
with this
should I go
conference,
or should I
there really
stay,
isn't a
or
ton of
what should I
CX
pick?
material here.
I would say that,
Very
with
little,
all the
really.
investment in the cloud
Well,
that's out
I
there,
mean,
all the investment
from a
you're making
revenue
in your systems
standpoint,
and
what
integrating
percentage
Yeah.
of revenue is actually
it's
coming
never
through
been
Oracle
an easier
CX?
time
Few
to
billion.
reduce
Or
that
applications
technical
in
risk,
general.
Mere
take the
few
risk
billion.
on Oracle's bigger products, and give yourself, options on how you're going to move
Many years
forward.
ago, when
But
Anthony Lai
the
was
people
running
are in any of these
CRM,
transformations are
Oracle's
still the people,
revenue,
right? And
CRM
that's not changed.
revenue.
But
This is
every ounce of effort you don't have to put
2009,
into the technology, you can now put into helping
maybe,
your
like
business
12,
become
13,
better,
it was 2
helping
billion,
your
yeah.
people become better, and
But that
helping
was
your
2
entire
billion of,
company,
back
focus
then
on
it was
whatever
like
their
20
core
something
values or
billion. So it's
purposes.
10, 15,
Yeah,
20.
I mean,
That's just
listen,
CRM.
you have the
It's
greatest
just
mission.
10,
Your
15%
mission
of
is
their
to
revenue.
make children happy.
Now, I don't know what
mean,
CX is relative
this
to
is
the
so
rest of
ideal,
Oracle's
and
revenue, but it's probably
sometimes
less than
you think
10%, I
about
would
all
guess.
the work
I would
that
think
goes
probably.
into
Have
designing your
either of you
products,
heard
getting it all
how
the
many
way
people they're
through,
expecting to
and
be at this
yet
thing?
ultimately
No,
the
I
big
just heard,
payoff is seeing happy
not a
children,
giant
being
crowd was the only
incredibly
word I heard.
successful,
It doesn't mean it's
and
small. It just means
competing.
probably not
I'm going to ask you a
40,000 like
question you're
Dreamforce.
probably not quite ready for, Lee, which is, how do you see the next year or so with the different challenges and possibilities in the business?
Yeah, we think about our future is bright, and we think about in volatile markets, the ability for us to move more quickly and create value is really, really important to us.
You know,
We are
the value proposition of the company, I mean, sort of thinking about it. So they're focused on creating, let's call it non-digital toys, basically, meaning real toys, that take you away from screens. And, you'll get a lot of people who will say, well, that's not the world it is, but it is, The more I'm thinking about it, if you look at, like, let's say some of the new digital media and stuff like that, they are let's call it adaptations digitally of existing forms of media that have been around long before the word digital even existed, beyond meaning fingers, right? So like radio, there's internet radio everywhere now, right? Or even live streaming. I mean, that's just the equivalent of a TV show that they do late night. This is a live TV show that they're broadcasting live. I mean, and I'm just, this is like vaguely formulated right now, so I have no complete thought here, but there's a lot of value. There's so many people who are detractors of offline, or else they're promoters to the point of being obnoxious of it. But the reality is, digital is only, digital is what everybody talks about and thinks about, but ultimately it's just it's a part of life, not life itself. There's just so much more to it beyond digital adoptions of what used to be. I mean, these guys are doing something. Remember, everyone used to make jokes about how people.
Oh, they got her a gift. They got her a toy.
So we're hoping that this small little product will bring some joy to
This
your
is my
day.
Aunt
Oh my gosh, all of you guys, some of our favorite things. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic.
I gotta say, this is so much better than
so fun.
unnamed parties who showed off $1,000 Louis Vuitton sneakers and a handcrafted Louis Vuitton bag as the gift they got. Not from Oracle, from another company.
I would have taken a pound cake.
That's all I would ever want. Well, I take a pound cake too. Pound cake or a pumpkin. I'd go with either one. Or they also used to have, what was it called?
Oracle database under the tree or near the Hanukkah menorah.
It was a chocolate cake.
I tried it a few
It
years ago.
was
Kids
called
went, no.
It's kind of like how you have lava cakes now, but it wasn't a lava cake. It was called
From Intimates?
We have
Yeah.
customers
Yeah, it was
that
delicious.
do incredibly fun things like toys.
I can
like
picture
you
it, but I
just
can't think what
saw.
they called it.
And so, as I said, I walk down that broad aisle. I go through a Johnson, a building. I know Johnson Controls in it.
Where did Bob Evans and
toys, I
Bruce
say,
Daly
"Huh,
say they were?
We are making that possible.
Where did they say they
And
were
now
going? Yeah, there are other analysts kind of hanging around here. I'm going to go find one and bring them in to get their impression. All right, while you guys continue on, I'll go grab another analyst and have them come in and say, what's your impression so far?
But was it fudge cake?
Huh? Right. And I'll ask,
Oracle.
it's closer to this, but that was another one I used to love, by the way.
So let's have
It was an
Christian
ice
Horner
cake.
from Oracle Red Bull Racing.
Oh,
Come on
yeah.
up here.
Red Bull Racing.
Christian Horner.
Everyone
Okay, no.
wants to talk about
Now that was the
cars.
chocolate fudge ice cake. That was awesome.
I want to talk to Christian Horner.
Tell Kim.
She'll just get me a one-on-one. Yeah.
Yes.
Christian Horner.
My God, what a
I'll go with that
tremendous year you are having. We call it the Oracle effect for any of you wondering. It's really, since we met in 2019 and we have our partnership together, I'm taking full credit right here in this. Okay, no, it's this guy and his incredible team. Share with these folks, because we're going to have a little bit of
Probably be
fun.
real good
Share
for
with
you.
us some of the
Maybe not.
No.
Maybe not.
on the track.
That would be
first of all, it's
a
fantastic to be here. It's my first time in
fist fight
Vegas,
for
so
a short while.
Wow,
I haven't
his
seen
first
a lot
time
so
in
far. I didn't
Vegas?
have a tiger in the room either this morning, so
Oh, he's got one of those OBE
But,
titles.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know
yeah,
Order
that.
of
it's
the
separate
British
that we met
Empire.
a few
Yeah.
years ago.
One step below
We
Nike.
convinced Oracle to come in as a partner, and as soon as we put
I
the
wonder
logo
if
on the
Jerry's here
car,
with him.
we started
Jerry.
winning. And
Jerry.
He's married to Ginger Spice.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Now that you said that. It's
So-
nice.
so
Sad
then
that that's the way I
then we
know
put
it.
a really big logo on the car this year,
little
and we've
company.
done a whole lot of winning. But it's been a fantastic partnership, and
It'll
the
pop in my head
technology
later.
that you're affording us, it's touching all parts of our business. You know, we're getting closer to our fans. We're understanding who our
I'm going to
fans
bring
are
another
through
analyst in.
all
I'll
the
be right back.
engagement we're using as a
You
real
better take your mic
strategy
off.
tool to
Yeah, I
help
will. Don't worry.
me look smart on the pit wall to make the right decisions. Of course, you know, as we've taken on a brand new challenge of building and designing our own engine,
All righty.
we're using
Yeah, that was good.
all of Oracle's cloud technology, which has enabled us
So
to
interesting what they can
design
talk
and
about and what
manufacture an
they
engine
can't
in a
talk
12-month
about when they
period.
talk
So
about the Formula One
we're
stuff,
really pushing
because
the
if you're
boundaries,
using too
and
much
it's been a great
computing
partnership so far.
power or anything
I
like
am
that, you can
so
get in trouble.
Oh, really?
Overall, yeah.
by
So,
this bold move
There are all sort of
to design
constraints
your
on,
own engine.
as I understand,
And, you
on
know, this
budget
is
that they can
this
devote
is
to tech and
really
that sort of thing.
important milestone for you.
So,
So
there are
that-
certain things that they can
Because,
talk
for all
about, but
of
then
us,
other
I
things.
I wonder why
that-
that is. So they don't want you to
one of the
to be
things
too
I've been
reliant
thinking
on
about a lot,
technology
and I
and-
think
and-
I think it's trying to level the playing
touching
field a
back
little bit
to
because the
what
budgets
we've
for
learned in
teams
the
are so very different.
is that really
Wow, okay.
boldness does
That's
win.
really. I mean, it almost feels like.
Not following
Bob Evans
what
is here with
everybody
us.
else is doing.
Okay.
You just
Hey, Bob,
can't get
welcome.
out of the pack doing what everybody else is doing. You ultimately need to, you know, you're preparing for the next few years when you'll have your
Come on
own,
in.
Thank you.
your own engine.
Why
And
don't
I
you,
think,
Bob, why
you
don't
know,
you
I wonder,
tell people
your
briefly about
thoughts
yourself,
of,
and then tell us
you
what you're
know,
thinking of so far about what you're seeing with
your
the
thoughts
thing, and you
on
can be
how you came to that
cheerful or
conclusion versus
blunt
doing what
as you
everybody
want.
else does.
Well, Bob,
And
Rebecca, thank
give
you.
us a little
I'm
update
Bob
on
Evans
where
with
you are
CloudWorld. Been
today.
following Oracle for a
Yeah,
while.
I
Worked
mean,
there for a little bit.
we had a partnership
I just
with,
love the fact
with
that
Honda,
their keynotes
and,
here are
Honda
more
have been
about
in and out of Formula One over the
customers
years.
and innovation and
during
cool
the pandemic,
new
they
things instead
decided
of
that
you
they
know
were going to
all the
withdraw
deep
from
technology
Formula
that
One
Oracle
at the
used
end
to
of
focus on. So I
2021,
think it's a big cultural
which is
breakthrough for
spectacularly
Oracle.
bad
And
timing
I
on
hope
their
that
part,
people
just as we
watching
were getting
are
winning.
enjoying that more as well.
But it forced us to consider what our
So,
options are, and
and I
our
just think,
choices
love the
were
rangeless,
either,
right?
we become
Saffron's
a
joy
customer
about
of,
bakery stuff and
well,
kids'
nobody wanted us
toys.
to
Much
customer.
more
We had a very
empathetic
good
kind of
customer in
tone
that
than
respect. We
you
were very
typically
demanding,
have
and we
heard.
wanted it. So Mercedes wouldn't supply us.
Yeah, and
Ferrari
it's
were
really
not
just
particularly
been,
keen to
I
supply us,
think,
but
just
I think,
over
would
2
have.
years now
Renault,
that Saffron has been the
again,
sole
there wasn't a whole
CEO,
bunch of
and you
enthusiasm
can
there.
see
So
the emergence.
we then faced
Back,
the
I think of
choice
some
of
of
do
that
we
type
take
of
control of
outlook
our own
and
destiny?
that empathetic
And
view
you know,
across
as
the company.
Lewis Hamilton said, we're
But
just
as she says over
a
and over too,
subsidiary
you
of an
gotta
energy
be bold,
drinks
you gotta
company.
move, you gotta make
Take
stuff
on
happen, not just sort of
Mercedes
sit back
Benz,
and wait
Ferrari,
to see,
all these little
okay, can I get rid of all risk? Because that'll never happen. So I just love the
a
new
huge risk
approach there.
strategy to say, you know, let's
It
go
almost
get a
feels
group of
like,
people together, get
you know,
right
the Larry
technology,
keynote,
get the right facilities, and
maybe
why can't we make it
maybe
happen?
more
Why
traditional
can't
Larry,
we
but
do
to
what we've
start
done
with
on the
this
chassis side,
as the opening
you know,
keynote, I think it was a really good
with the
move.
engine, and so we've
Yeah.
recruited the talent.
You know,
built
and
the
it's
infrastructure, and most
it is when
importantly,
she's
the
talking
tools.
about culture and how
And
come
you know, the
don't
speed
just
that
change
we
your
operate
technology, you
at
got to
is
change your
so
culture.
fast. And that's
she's
where,
really
you know,
doing
the
that at
cloud
Oracle, because
technology
that was a
really
deep-seated
enabled us
thing,
not
right?
to have
It's
to
like,
wait for a data center
how can we make any space for customers to come in and talk? We have to get all our product executives up there. You know, it'll be Saturday by the time we can fit a customer in. And she has just turned that upside down.
2026,
And I love the stuff
when
too, folks.
that
you keep
engine
saying
will
about you got to be
fire up
bold,
and run
you have
out
to
on a
move.
circuit, probably here
You
in Las
cannot
Vegas.
sit back and wait. And that's very much who
It's an
she
really exciting
is.
prospect.
So what
and,
is it now? 22,
one that,
23 years
you know,
she's
you've
been
got
at
to
the
take yourself
company.
out of the comfort
And she's
zone.
really, really
We've done it
pushing
on the
that,
chassis
right?
side.
And
We
make
think,
this
okay,
stuff go. Don't
why
wait.
can't we do it on the engine?
Well, this definitely feels like
And
a
I
whole
think you
different
can.
different
And
kind
we're
of
so
keynote from
thrilled
Oracle.
to be partners
Everybody
in
feels
this.
relaxed,
And I think,
and
you know, you made
the
this
conversations are
incredibly
much more,
important point,
you know, like
which
there's
is
more depth
being able
to these
just get up
conversations
and
in this
running
keynote.
quickly
And I like that
without
they're not
having to
stringing them
rent
out
a
too
data
long.
center, get
They're each hitting
computers,
a
start
nice,
the
sweet spot, and then she's able to move on and bring on somebody else, and then they talk about a little something different, but definitely key to the story of each of these companies. I mean, we're sitting here learning stuff that it's like, oh, I didn't even know that company had Intamins. They own these guys.
That's a big takeaway.
That's a big takeaway from the keynotes.
I see you got it on your screen.
This is an amazing time for us.
Yeah. But it's wild, isn't it too? And how about the Johnson Controls, right? A classic, a big heavy-duty industrial company. And she comes and said, no, we're a data services and digital services company, end-to-end digital solutions. Wow. So I love it from the customer side, the more ambitious and far-looking outlooks that these companies are taking. Right? They're not just saying, well, if I can just make myself a little bit more efficient than I used to be, but I'll still be the same. They're not. It's got to be really different.
Yeah.
I just love to see that.
I was talking to Evan Goldberg a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how product companies and service companies, the lines are blurred, and they're becoming more composite companies, and companies that see themselves as one or the other are missing out, and they should really look at themselves as being, a company that sometimes offers products, sometimes offers services, but they all have to be interrelated. So it feels like we're getting that kind of message seeping into this too.
Brett, it's really interesting as you put that, because at the same time, what Safra's talked about a lot, and we'll hear so much this week about Oracle at industry-specific solutions, but part of that is if you get really good inside your own industry, then you can have the nimbleness and agility to move outside your industry. So, as you're saying, don't overthink this thing. Am I a product company? Am I a services company? Am I manufacturing? Am I this or that? But just what is it that the marketplace outside wants, and let me define myself by what the market wants rather than my last 137 years like Johnson Controls. So a big challenge for customers, not just what technology do I pick, but what partner am I going to pick that's going to help me unleash what my future could be. So it's really been just a lot of fun to see this. This is the time of year, right, where I'll run a bunch of these conferences, and sometimes you can tell in the first few minutes, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to catch up on my naps during these keynotes, or am I going to learn something and enjoy it and come out energized. But I've been energized by just being a part of this with you folks. You guys are legendary. So thank you for the chance to come on and chat a little bit.
Thank you for joining us. It was great.
That's how you brush us off.
It was so deftly done, though. That was great. See, the conversation ends here. The conversation.
Okay, well.
No. It was great. I just want to sit here. I could blab away all day with you guys.
Well, you know what?
Grateful for the
One
choice.
thing you can plan is be on. We'll have you on the regular Playaz episode where you get all day to play with us.
All right.
So plan on it.
Well, thank you so much. I'll be hard to get rid of. I promise.
All right, it's a deal.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Bob.
What you need to understand is
Sure thing.
that's why we do it.
Bye, folks.
We want to
Thank you.
make you all successful, and we've got a number of
That was
things
nice.
Yeah, he's
coming
great.
this week. As many of you know, Larry's coming by.
He also was.
this
He
afternoon
really does know
to talk
Oracle's
about
culture. He was former
end-to-end
CMO.
Yeah,
automation
right,
I remember
so-
when he was here.
and
Oh, yeah.
multi-cloud.
When was that?
How
And
long
then
was that?
play
Not that long
tomorrow.
ago.
No, I'd
For
say
everything that's
5,
new
6 years
in
ago, maybe 6 years
OCI,
ago. I had him
and then
last time I
Steve,
saw him. He was
tomorrow
still CMO.
afternoon,
I mean, I've been on the
what's
show
new for our
since then,
applications.
and I
And with
read
that,
CloudWorld all the time.
thank
I
you,
actually trust
and
his
enjoy the
judgment,
show.
unlike
Thank
many.
you.
We are done with the first keynote.
Wow,
It's a wrap.
Safra.
It was supposed to
Great
end in like 10 minutes
job.
early. Yeah. All right. So let's get rid of this and bring this up.
All right,
So first impressions of the opening keynote.
pretty much said it already. Really, I mean, from style and approach, it was fantastic. I mean, it was conversational. It was outcomes focused. It still presented Oracle's technology in a way that it should have, and at the same time, each of the discussions was very focused and very interesting and very different, right? Which is the other thing. And Safra was basically a host, really, as opposed to giving a keynote. Her opening remarks were just basically setting up being a host, and she did a terrific job being a host. So
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think it was a good mix of companies. I was kind of surprised that they didn't have a retail, given the focus on retail industries for Oracle.
I think the
That they didn't
closest
have
one
a
they had
retail
was the toy
customer,
company,
the
maybe.
toy company,
Yeah,
maybe.
sort of retail. I mean,
It's certainly an interesting kind of mix of customers, both in terms of industry and size. But I think one of the things that struck me that Safra talked about with everybody is sort of this Oracle being invested in your success.
Yeah.
And if you flash back a few years ago, that wasn't necessarily a part of Oracle's key theme. And even Steve was talking about yesterday about how, developers are now focused because of the cloud model on making sure that customers are successful, which when you're working in the cloud, you're much more invested as a vendor in doing that. But I think that tone is coming across.
Well, I also thought it was striking that the first discussion was a partnership, not a customer, right? I mean, it was a customer, meaning they used each other's products, but there's folks around a partnership, which goes even stronger to that argument of we're invested in success because they're Oracle. The three things that I've seen over the last, let's call it 3-4 years, which reflected really well in the discussions were: one, much stronger push to being a full platform; two, actually building out a genuine ecosystem as opposed to just giving some platitudes toward it; and three, the cultural change that Bob was discussing specifically. All of that was reflected really well on the stage, and to me, that's the fundamentals of Oracle's change. Look, they hit a bit of a snag, when they ran into those layoffs a couple of months. I guess it's been about 2 months now. Bob came on the Playaz last week to explain it, and he did a good job. But that was a snag. But the cultural transformation of Oracle is undeniable. I mean, it's not complete. I mean, some of what, I won't go into detail, but some of what Steve said was showing, global concerns. I don't think it was made it more sound like doing good. Mm-hmm. There were 3 items mentioned. I'm not going to say what they were, but 2 of them had nothing to do with doing good that I could see in any way, shape, or form.
So it's a message that's still.
But he's right. It is. It really is. And I don't think that's Oracle being deceptive. I think that, to your point, it's evolving, and they're trying to figure it out, and nobody's going to be perfect at it. And at the same time, this is an honest thing going on. This is a real fundamental cultural change. And to me, that is the foundation for Oracle's success, or continued success or failure is based on that cultural change. Because the technology has never been a problem with them. It got complicated. It gets complicated, but they actually produce good things. The product, not all of them, not like any company. No products are great. Not all products are great, but they've never had. The issue has never been
the technology.
Yeah, no. It's always been the company, and now the company issue, which was cultural, is now being transformed, and I think that reflected perfectly well on this. What do you think?
I'm just going to agree, and I'm looking forward to Larry's keynote. I want to compare and contrast. I have a strong suspicion it's going to be
Larry's keynote will be
180 degrees.
Larry's keynote.
Yes.
But you know what? It'll be okay if he's eating pound cake. He says, not next slide. He says, another piece of pound cake. Then we're good. And that was the other big takeaway for, I think, all of us, which is that, my God, Entenmann's an Oracle customer. Forget Google Bimbo. Entenmann's is an Oracle customer. That was really important.
I'm so looking at this. You guys can't see it.
That's
but
Oracle TV.
That looks like what Oracle TV
That's what we're
is. Oracle TV.
Yes.
So,
I guess that's where
in roughly 2 hours, the 3 of us will be at the Oracle TV studio to have an unknown length of conversations about various
No, I think
things.
it's pretty well known. I think it's like 17 minutes.
No, they give you there's a time frame of 17 minutes, but then they say including 15 minutes of setup, which makes me think, wait a minute, that leaves 2 minutes to talk, right? So I don't think the time frame is right, or they just kind of didn't say it
But
right.
if you don't catch it live, I'm sure you'll be able to catch it on YouTube. And
Right.
Yeah.
But it will be worth trying to catch live. Again, Oracle TV,
Don't give too much away.
12:35. So, do we start at 12:35 or 12:49?
I have no
I don't know.
idea.
Come at 12:35. Watch Oracle TV from 12:35 to 1.
Yeah.
Right. And if you do,
The first person leaves a
send an
comment,
email.
you get a pound cake.
That's right. All right. The last thing is, I'm saying it one last time and see if I can say it in one sentence.
No.
If you send an email and watch this today, you send an email to Playaz, Playaz, Productions, plural, network, all one word, at gmail.com. I will send you a free copy of The Commonwealths of Self-Interest, which is a book on customer engagement that I wrote and came out in 2019 and is still relevant today. And I would highly recommend that you let us know. You're not getting a pound cake, though. That I'm keeping for myself.
And on that note, folks, maybe we'll be back for the Larry keynote if we can see if this will be the same kind of setup. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm really looking forward to seeing if there's a difference here, because there was a definite difference with the morning keynote. Maybe Larry will be different. Maybe it'll be something that we're not expecting.
The big question is if he brings his yoga ball with him.
Oh yeah.
And the mat too.
Yeah.
You got to have the mat.
Or she broadcasted remotely from the hotel room.
All right. So maybe check back. What time is that?
3:30. No, 3 to 4:30 or 3:30 to 4.
I thought it was.
Okay. We have market strategy on it right now.
It felt like it was like 2:00.
2.
2.
So it's
2
2
to
o'clock.
3:30.
It's from
2 to
2
3:30?
to 3:30.
That's
2 o'clock Pacific time.
2 to 3:30 Pacific time. We'll check back with us. Hopefully, we'll be on. Otherwise,
Well, before that, if you do find your way to Oracle TV, wherever that is, just look it up, I guess, oracletv.com. I don't know. You'll see us at 12:30 or ish, or I don't know.
and then we'll see you tomorrow at.
I think that's 12:30.
I don't know. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, check in. We'll know by the time
Right.
the Larry keynote.
Right. We'll let you know.
So in the meantime, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
I'm Rebecca Letterman.
We are the CRM Playaz, and we'll hopefully see you a little later today. Why am I looking at this when the camera is right up?
I know.
See ya.
Everybody.